The very first thing to happen in American Gangster is that a furious man tied to a chair is doused in gasoline and casually set on fire. The camera doesn't blink. Neither does cold-eyed Frank Lucas, whose deliberate flick of a Zippo ignites the blaze. This is an accurate snapshot of the movie's overall tone and content. The scene is neither a flashpoint that the movie will revisit later on, nor of any great significance to its plot. It's merely our introduction to Frank Lucas.
The man I worked for had one of the biggest companies in New York City. He ran it for more than 50 years. 15 years, 8 months and 9 days. I was with him every day. I worked for him, I protected him, I looked after him, I learned from him. Bumpy was rich, but he wasn't white man rich. You see, he wasn't wealthy. He didn't own his own company. He thought he did, but he didn't. He just managed it. White man owned it, so they owned him. Nobody owns me, though.
Hey.
How you doing, baby? Good. That's because I own my own company, and my company sells a product that's better than the competition at a price that's lower than the competition.
The actual Lucas is still alive and in his 70s, out of prison and confined to a wheelchair. The movie Lucas, played by Denzel Washington with studied calm and supreme self-assurance, is virile, calculating, and hard as nails. The trusted driver, bodyguard, and enforcer of Harlem crime lord Bumpy Johnson as the movie opens, Frank decides to step up into his mentor's mantle after Bumpy dies of a heart attack. The new kingpin's ruthlessness and clever ideas about the drug trade soon have him dominating the marketplace with his own brand name heroin, Blue Magic. Some cops make trouble for Frank, but mostly because they want a piece of the action. The only person who seems motivated to break up his operation because it's the right thing to do is federal narc snoop Richie Roberts, played by Russell Crowe. Richie is a failure as a family man, but legendary as a cop, if only because of his honesty.
Our mandate is to make major arrests, no street guys. We're looking for the suppliers and the distributors. Heroin, cocaine, amphetamines, no grass under 1,000 pounds, no powder under 40 kilograms. Any less than that, then somebody else can waste their time. We're going to be handling the big shipments, the big money, and big temptation.
I heard a story about you, that you found $1 million in unmarked cash, and you gave it back. Is that true?
Yeah, I did. Anybody got a problem with that? So do I, you know? I think about it every day. I should be down in South Florida with a 68-foot cruiser doing fishing charters.
Stephen Zalian's sharply crafted screenplay has lots of room for both Washington and Crowe to strut their stuff. There are subplots and long, thoughtful scenes that flesh out both characters, and neither actor is the least bit disappointing. Zalian and director Ridley Scott gradually carry out a well-timed shift from examining the leads to setting them in motion against each other. Richie's investigation, which unfolds alongside Frank's struggle to retain his mini-empire, is satisfyingly complex. Enormous care has been taken to create an authentic 70s atmosphere. The big takedown of Frank's main facility, when it finally comes, is a fantastic bit of action cinema, but almost as intriguing for its setting in a shabby housing project. If there's an overall weakness, it's perhaps in the rather glancing depiction of the horrors of heroin addiction, an approach that manages to seem both commendable and superficial. That's right, kids. Don't watch super violent R-rated movies loaded with profanity and sexual content. But if you do, remember that drugs are bad.